I came to know Bilan about 7 years ago in my position as Vice President of Student Development, Student Affairs, and she at that time was the Associate Professor for the Paducah School of Art and Design. I learned that she had to relocate to a new country and start all over again, even though she was an established artist where she was in China. And getting to know her, my impressions were that she was a person who was courageous, a person who was strong, a person who was not afraid to start over again and take risks. I've seen much of her art. She's very talented, a very gifted artist, very creative. So my impressions about her, as I said, is many. One, she's very energetic. If you get to know her, she's very bubbly and she does not know any strangers. She's passionate about what she does, but she's just a passionate person. Almost everything in terms of her life journey up until what she has done now, she is a walking educator. I mean, her life is a journey and it's also an educational experience for anyone who comes in contact with her. One, she served on our Diversity and Inclusion Campus Advisory Committee, where we plan different activities so that our students and our staff, as well as our community members, can learn more about not just the Chinese culture, but global cultures around the world. And Bilan was a big part of that and a big part of leading that effort. She encouraged and inspired other cultures to share a little bit about where they came from and the different perspectives. One of the things also I would say that she has contributed to in terms of education in her work is she has taught our students who will go out into the workplace and go out into the world, she's taught them to have a more global perspective about careers, open to learning about not just where you are, but where other people are and the value in their customs and what they do. But she also opened a gallery downtown Paducah, and it gave the community an opportunity to go in and review all of her art. And you look at her paintings that she has, like on her walls, they all tell a story about the struggle that she's been through and that she's overcome. Cultural aspects that Bilan exposed to me, one that comes to mind clearly is Chinese New Year. Every year that I've known her and that she's been on campus, she would lead the Chinese New Year festival on our campus, and we would have hundreds of students and staff and community members to come. This was a time when we learned about the history and the culture. She would plan lots of things on campus. One, she would teach everyone how to cook different dishes. The dishes would be dumplings was one of the primary dishes that she would teach people how to do, and also the different teas and how important tea was to China. And they would always have music and dance and festivities. So all of those were things that really she impacted our campus, and to be honest, it's not been quite the same without her, her spirit, without her leadership, without her passion, because it was something that she cared about, she put her heart into, and it was something that was very much supported by our faculty and staff, because we look forward to each year of attending the Chinese New Year festival that she would host on campus, and then she's also hosted at her gallery downtown. But I know when you go to another country and there's a different language, that is that barrier. And I'll be honest, if it were me, I don't know if I would ever be able to learn another language, even though I desire very strongly to want to be able to do that. For her, nothing's a barrier. She figures out how to jump over it, around it, through it. The legacy Bilan has left is human being, but also of a woman who has exceeded above and beyond what probably any person would have been able to do, not just in her country, but even in this country. I mean, in this country, she's been extremely successful. If you look at how many people who actually even maybe earn a high school diploma or a bachelor's degree or a master's, I mean, she's 2 master's degrees. She's very accomplished just in her own right, not just as an artist, but also as a human being.